Hi girls, this is Kala again to talk to you on IC analysis, that is immediate constituent analysis. So what is immediate constituent analysis? To know that you'll have to know about constituent structures. So what are they? They are structures that are based on morpheme based grammar. So now what are morphemes? Morphemes are the minimal forms of a word, the smallest unit of a word. Like phonemes that are the smallest unit of a sound, morphemes are the smallest unit of a word. So now what are words? Words are made up of morphemes. So words are minimal free forms. Forms that can be on their own in an utterance during a normal context of use. Okay, so take for example the word cat spelled as CAT. It's both a morpheme as well as a word. Why a morpheme? Because it is the smallest unit. Okay, it cannot be split any further. And it's a word also because it's a free form. Right. So now take the next example of the same, a different form of the same word, that's cats. It's not a morpheme here. Cats is not a morpheme. Why is it not a morpheme? Because it can be split into two minimal forms. What are those two minimal forms? Cat and S. What is that cat? Cat is a free form and S is a bound form. Okay. So now what are bound forms? Bound forms are different constituent of words which we call affixes, and these affixes can be further divided into prefixes and suffixes. What are prefixes? Prefixes are those morphemes that precede the base form. Suffixes are those morphemes that follow the base form. I repeat, prefixes are those minimal forms that precede the base form, and suffixes are those minimal forms that follow the base form. So now we go on to take a word for an example. Unfriendliness. It's a noun form. Okay, unfriendliness. Now we split unfriendliness into the two immediate constituents. What are they? Unfriendly and ness. Now all of us will have a doubt here. Why can't it be split as un and friendliness? It cannot be. Why? Because the moment you split it as un and friendliness, the negative connotation of the word changes and you make it a positive word. So, as far as possible, we don't touch upon the meaning of the word, that is the negative meaning of the word. Therefore, we are not splitting the word un into un and friendliness. We are splitting it as unfriendly and ness. So, unfriendly is an adjective, we label it, and ness is a suffix. Here, for your reference, I have even marked it as a bound form. Then we move on to unfriendly, and we split unfriendly into un and friendly. Un is a prefix which is a bound form, and friendly is an adjective. Friendly is a free form. It's a word. Okay, now friendly can it's a word, it's not a free form, it's a word. Okay, now friendly can be further divided into friend and lee. Now when you say friend and lee, friend is a noun form, it's the base form, and lee is a suffix or a bound form. Okay, so now the immediate constituents of unfriendliness are unfriendly and ness. The ultimate constituents, that is to say the ultimate splits that you can have of this word is un, friend, lee and ness. Okay, so now from a word we move on to analyzing a phrase. What's the phrase? It's on the wooden table. It's a prepositional phrase. In an IC analysis of a sentence, you'll just say PP, but for your reference, I have written it as prepositional phrase also. So, on the wooden table can be further divided into on and the wooden table. On is a preposition and the wooden table will be marked as an NP alone. But then for your understanding, I have written it as noun phrase also. Then the wooden table is further divided into the and the wooden table. The is a determiner or article, and wooden table is an NP, that's a noun phrase. Wooden table is further divided into wooden and table. Wooden becomes an adjective, and table is a noun. So we have analyzed the immediate constituents of a word, a phrase, and now we move on to a sentence. Now, take the sentence, the women are buying vegetables. Look at the sentence carefully. The women are buying vegetables. In a grammar class, you will divide them into subject and predicate. But in IC analysis, you will look at the words that precede the verb. So what are the words that precede the verb? The and women. And what are the words that are with the verb? Are buying vegetables. So you divide the sentence into the women and are buying vegetables. The women is the noun phrase and are buying vegetables is the verb phrase. So now leave the verb phrase alone. We move on to the noun phrase. Divide the noun phrase. You get it as the and women. So what the is a determiner, and I know it's an article also, but here we call it as a determiner, and women is a noun. Now, okay, so this part is over. We have finished the IC analysis of the noun phrase given here. Now we move on to the verb phrase. Now verb phrase can be further divided into are buying and vegetables. Are buying is a verb phrase and vegetables is noun. Now we come on to are buying. Are and buying. Are is a helping verb. HV is a helping verb. Buying is a main verb. MV. Okay. Now this buying can be further divided into buy plus ing. Buy is verb. Ing is a present continuous marker here. It's a suffix also. Okay. Similarly, vegetables, which is a noun, can be further divided into vegetable and s. Vegetable is a noun and s is a plural marker. So this is a simple sentence, and we have had a look at the IC analysis of this simple sentence. Now we move on to analyze a little longer sentence. My friend ate apples and oranges in the morning. It's a given sentence. Okay, now we split that into like the previous sentence into two parts. The words preceding the verb for your understanding and the words along with the verb. Okay, so my friend and ate apples and oranges in the morning. Now my friend is an NP, that's noun phrase. Ate apples and oranges in the morning will be labeled as VP, that is verb phrase. Okay, so my friend, we further divide it into my plus friend. My is a determiner, friend is a noun. Okay, so now that is done, let's focus on the verb phrase. So we divide ate apples and oranges in the morning into two. Ate and apples and oranges in the morning. Ate is the main verb or the verb. Okay, apples and oranges in the morning become the complement. Right, now this complement, I'm sorry about the spelling, complement. Now oranges and apples in the morning can be further divided into apples and oranges. They become the noun phrase, and in the morning becomes the PP, that's a proportional phrase. So we leave the PP there for the time being, and we come over to apples and oranges. Now this can be divided into three because it has a conjunctions in between. Okay, so we divide it into apples and oranges. So apples will be noun and will be a conjunction. Oranges will be noun. Now this apples can be further divided for want of space. I'm just leaving it here. Can be further divided into apple and s. Apple noun, s as a suffix or plural marker. Oranges similarly, orange and s. Orange becomes the noun and s the plural marker. Okay. Now after that we move on to the proportional phrase in the morning. In is the proportion and the morning is the noun phrase. Okay. The morning will be further divided into the, which is the determiner, and morning the noun. Okay, so I hope you understood how words, phrases and sentences have to be analyzed and how the immediate constituents can be identified. Thank you.